Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my pick and analysis for the 2016 Week 3 matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Carolina Panthers. Now, in this game, another interesting game. What else is new? I like Carolina to win this game. Carolina has won 14 consecutive games at home, and they are at home in this game. And this is a team right now, #1 scoring offense. I mean, their offense is on high octane. They're taking off they're really taking where they left off last season. And really, I mean, you have quarterback Cam Newton. This is a team that can really, I mean, whether it's receiving, whether it's running with the ball, they could do it all. This also, they had lost the first game of the season, a nail biter to the Denver Broncos. They could have easily won that game. And last week, we saw them in a game which really showed, I think, that what the Carolina Panthers are about. They are still, I believe, one of the better teams in the NFL. However, Minnesota Vikings coming to town. Looks like Adrian Peterson, running back for the Vikings, is not going to play. However, people got to remember that Adrian Peterson in the first two games for the Vikings was virtually ineffective. I think he ran for like 39 yards or so in the two games, somewhere around there. And he did not exactly put up prodigious numbers. Now, and they still went 2-0. They beat Green Bay last week, as many of you may know. I got that one wrong. Gotten a number of my games wrong, unfortunately. The unpredictable world of the NFL at my service. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, though, if they go with Sam Bradford is a very good quarterback. I mean, he did a decent job last week for him, was efficient, and I could see him having a very good game in this one, and they could keep this game a lot closer than a lot of people anticipate. The Minnesota Vikings also have, I mean, with their wide receiver, Stefon Diggs, he's #1 in receiving yards right now. So when you hear a lot of the talk about the quarterback and then the running back, even though Adrian Peterson hasn't put up great numbers, I mean, you hear more about them, but I mean, it seems like their receiver, Stefon Diggs, is kind of going under the radar a little bit, and this will be a very good matchup between him and whatever cornerback or cornerbacks are going to be covering him for Carolina. Now, Carolina had proven to be a team, if I'm not mistaken, and last season they were one of the leaders in the NFL in interceptions. So it's going to be a very good matchup between that secondary for Carolina against the receiving corps for the Vikings, and especially against Stefon Diggs, and see what's going to transpire with that. What's also interesting, as I've stated in a few other videos, I believe, is that another thing that goes under the radar when we do analysis for these NFL games is the special teams and kicking game. And this could be the kicking game in this particular game might play a little more of a critical role than the average game, because Minnesota right now is leading the NFL in kick return average at 41.0 yards per kick return, and that is #1 in the NFL. Now, if Minnesota can really strongly win the battle as far as field position compared to Carolina, that could obviously pay dividends for them and obviously augment their chances of winning. That being said, even if they do, I don't think it's going to be enough to defeat Carolina at home. There's no team that is invincible at home, and Carolina certainly isn't that team, but they are everything but at home. As I stated before, 14 consecutive home wins. That's combining regular season and postseason, of course. So they've got it. They've done it in the postseason as well, really against good competition. So to me, that is enough, and too much Cam Newton in this game, and too much offense, period, running and receiving for the Carolina Panthers. I think they just outman the Vikings a little bit. And anyway, I'm going to take Carolina at home in a close one. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for the 2016 Week 3 matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Carolina Panthers. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.